I say, Robert, what do you call a snowman who goes on vacation in Australia?
Lucky. No?
Yeah, lucky. A puddle. Oh.
What's with all the jokes?
Stay tuned and find out.
I got what you want. Honey, I got what you need. Honey, I got what you want.
Hi, we are Rob and Ali sharing with you our passion of all things cruise and travel. And you know, Robert, we're not in the right place. I don't know about you guys, but you know when you have your own place, when you're sleeping on the right side of the bed and it feels wrong. That's what's happened here. I'm normally on the other side, but
You are.
anyway, I'm not moving.
We'll make it work.
I'm not moving
So
now.
what's with the jokes?
Well, we're on a comedy cruise. We're on a 3-night comedy cruise on the P&O Pacific Encounter.
Yeah, we've just finished actually, haven't we? We've just finished the 3-night comedy cruise. We're actually back on board because we're doing a back-to-back, so we thought ideal opportunity to give you a fresh.
Yeah, we'll do a
Fresh off the
roundup
boat
while it's all
review
fresh.
of what we thought about the comedy cruise.
Am I going to look daft if I do that? There we go.
Never.
There we go. So, this was a full cruise, absolutely jam-packed. There were 900 children on this cruise. Not that you'd know it.
Actually, no, not unless you looked in the pool.
That's what we said. Or in the jacuzzi. I think there was about 800 in one of the jacuzzis at one time. You know, this child soup.
But no, to be fair, they were all excellently behaved. We assume they were excellently behaved. We didn't see any issues with any of the children.
No, either.
Apart from one. I think it was in day one. We got in the lift and there was two young lads in there, and there was nobody else in. They had pressed every single button on the lift, and they'd been caught out and they didn't know what to do about it. So there was a few of us got in, and they went down the first level or the first two levels something, and then they went to get out, and I said, mate,
You've got to stay in.
You've got to stay for the ride.
He did not kidnap the children, I hasten to add. Either parents, hats off to you, or to the entertainment crew, the crew that look after the children.
Well, they do great kids clubs on the P&O
My
ships.
goodness, you must have kept them occupied because they were just angels, unless they were all playing with their Christmas presents. This is the in-between leg between Christmas and New Year. So it's kind of a 3-day in between those two dates. Fabulous time to come away. So if you want to spend family time for Christmas and then maybe family time at New Year and you want those 3 days away, I would say book this cruise.
Yeah, if they do it every year, because with it falling on different times, it just fell right this year between the 3 days between the Christmas and New Year, but they usually do try and do something to fill that little gap so that they have the separate Christmas cruise and the separate New Year.
And I would say after spending a few dollars on on-land meals out with the family and entertainment in the theatres and things, I mean, great nights out. Would not say don't do those sort of things in Brisbane, but I would say value for money. Couldn't do better.
Yeah.
We've had a fantastic time. So let's kick off with Embarkation. I'll try to do it in order so we don't miss anything. Embarkation was fabulous.
Yeah, it was. We were a little bit late at this time, weren't we? And I think, in fact, I know everybody was on the ship. It was like being the last person on the plane, you know, and everybody's in their seats. But it was a breeze. There was nobody there. Straight through to the check-in, straight through and onto the ship in no time. In fact, I would say it was probably, in some respects, quicker than the transit one we've just done. Yeah.
As ever, the crew, the guys, the staff, whatever you call yourselves, the Brisbane Terminal gang, fantastic. They are always so courteous, polite. It's like a cast of thousands. Everywhere you look, there's somebody there to guide you and to help you. Just take it easy and they guide you through it. Honestly, I'd have to say the Brisbane Terminal, it's superb. So we came through. We have mentioned previously that you're not allowed to take liquids now through kind of your embarkation process. In your bag. So if you've got kind of sippy cups of water, cans of drink, coffee, that kind of thing, They used to let you empty it out inside the terminal. I think it must have...
As security when you went through.
I think it must have messed up with the lines and things and been a bit of a hassle for them, so they make you do it outside. However, just to bear in mind that if you do need to take regular drinks, or if you have tablets and you're on a schedule to take those tablets, just make sure that you do all that before you get into the queue. There is a drink station when you get in, so you could get water like in an emergency or a can of something. So that's just a little tip for you. Now, muster station, we always say do your muster station first. When you find your muster station, that will be the closest kind of muster station to your cabin. It helps you locate your cabin easier because that's where they place them. So go to your muster station, it's on your cruise card which one you go to, and then from there the closest lifts will take you pretty much straight to your cabin. It's just rather than you wandering around trying to find your cabin then. This time round we had it was a little bit long, it's only 5 minutes, but normally they just click your card so that you know you've checked in and done muster. She gave us a lot more information, and there was more information coming over the tannoy, which we thought was great. You know, they kind of give you a little bit more information about it.
Yeah, they talk you
Not
through
a hassle,
how to do your
but...
life jacket and put that on, and what to take with you if there's the general alarm sounds. All that stuff. The things that you will see on the video that you need to watch anyway, they were talking those through so that you could actually hear those as well.
It's still only a few minutes that they got through that. Then our bags arrived really quickly into our room. We were able to just check in, go to our room. Now we had lunch in the pantry. Now what they do is that there's two sides to the pantry, which is kind of the buffet area. If you wanted to have a sit down waiter service lunch, the waterfront is open on Embarkation Day, but it is a very short window and it's finished by about 1 o'clock, I think 1:30. Yeah. And so then you will have to go for your buffet style upstairs in the pantry.
And that gets busy on Embarkation Day.
Oh,
very
boy.
Busy. Today was
Boy.
This cruise was no exception. It was extremely. In fact, although the pantry was busy, it was specifically the Indian.
Oh my God!
Indian section.
My favourite. You know I love my Indian.
You want fish and chips? No problem. Straight away, there you go. Fish and chips. You want your Asian? No problem. You want Indian? It's queued like round the pantry, out the back into the Oasis.
It's the best, though. It's definitely worth queuing for.
Oh yeah, there was popular.
So our advice would be when you go to the pantry,
don't have Indian on the first day.
Is kind of pick your style, I guess. You run into problems if you try to have a little bit of everything. So if you want a little bit of maybe Chinese and then some Indian and everything all on the one plate, or you're going to run into problems because you will go from queue to queue, and by the time you've done that, your meal's going to be closed, and then you're trying to find a table. So our advice would be, grab yourself
cold, not closed.
Cold. Grab yourself a table. Look at what's on offer in each of the stations, and then pick one, decide on it, go for it, and just have that. Now, the other thing is the salad station, beautiful salad station, that did close early. So the salads finished at about, 2:30 or something, I don't know, for whatever reason. So then let's go through daytime activities on board a comedy cruise. So they'll do the normal activities of kind of shuffleboard and lawn bowls.
The deck sports in the afternoon, absolutely, yeah. They do the shuffleboard, they do lawn bowls, they do a hole-in-one challenge, they do basketball challenge. There's quite a few of those things that they do, and the winner gets a medal.
Do we know what they look like?
We do, because we have one for shuffleboard. I don't know whether I've mentioned it, but yeah.
Just thought I'd get that one in for you.
And when I say we,
it's all him. No help from me whatsoever.
We're trying to add to that medal collection.
There are there's four swimming pools on board the ship. There is the Oasis pool at the back. This is the adult only area, nice and chilled and laid out. They'll have a little bit of live music we had this time. Don't always get that on these cruises, but it was lovely, and it was nice, kind of laid back in the afternoon, wasn't it? That sort of music. Then we have the family room that has the cover over it. in case of inclement weather. But actually, even in the scorching sun, they still had that cover over, which is great if you've got little ones and you don't want them out in the sun all day. Protects them. Lots of nice lounges. It's not just for kids. It's the grown-ups and everything go in there as well. That's a lovely area. Go further along on deck 14, and then you've got the main Lido deck with the main swimming pool, and that has a couple of jacuzzis either side as well. That was open the whole time, wasn't it?
Yep.
Plenty of sunbeds. Honestly, there's so many sunbeds, and actually on the back here in the Oasis, which we are, there's another 2 levels with sunbeds everywhere. It's just trying to find shade. That's probably the most difficult bit.
It can be,
You just kind of drag them around and find yourself a little bit of shade if you want it. In that main pool area, they have the great big screen, don't they? And they'll have
the movies on in the afternoon. Yeah,
the movies on, and then they'll kind of have videos and things on, and then quite often the DJ will come on in the afternoon. Now the music is playing there pretty much all day. It's pretty good background music. When the DJ comes on in the afternoon, oh my God, get your earplugs in.
They do crank it up for a couple of hours in the afternoon, don't they, with the DJ on there? But
I got some serviettes at one point and just stuffed them in my ears because I was just like, this is just, I couldn't read, I couldn't think, it was so loud. That was just for a couple of hours. And then there's another pool. Where's the other pool?
There's a few more pools. There's the one in the Byron Beach. That's for Byron Beach guests only. But the other
and then
one
you've got the child's pool.
Well, there's a child pool as well. That's another one. But there's also a pool up on the Sunset deck as well, by the Sunset Bar, which was open. The first time we have ever seen it open on this ship. It's open on Adventure. We've seen it on Adventure, but on Encounter, that Sunset Bar, and I think we've mentioned it before, is never really open, but it was open and it was very well used.
It was very well used.
Very well used. Yeah.
And so then also on a comedy cruise, and you'll get your normal quizzes and things, but they try to do them kind of comedy style. So they had one that was guess the end of the dad jokes and those kind of things, which makes it really good fun. They'll be indoors and they'll be just happening all the way through the day. They had some crafts going on of make your own headbands.
Yes. Dance classes for the Gatsby dance flash mob.
All that's on. Bingo twice a day if you're into your bingo.
We'll put the good times up on the website. Have a look on the good times. We're not going to go through it. We'll be here all day if we go through every single thing there is on the ship. But if you have a look on the good times, if you want an idea about some of the sort of things that you can do, have a look on those. They'll be on the website.
So as well as that, they then do specific comedy sort of gigs in the daytime. So they had gongs, that's where passengers could get up and do their own jokes, and they had the professionals were there and kind of gonged them out a little bit like the X Factor, and then a Q&A session. So that's really good. We found it very laid back, didn't we, on this? It's been a lovely cruise, I have to say, really well paced. Nightlife. So what did you think of the Nightlife?
Well, one of the things we like about the comedy cruise is the fact that it is like a mini cruise. You get the same sort of things that you get on the longer cruises. So, for example, there's still the White Night, the Bianco party. There's still the Gatsby night. They still have the shows on. So we saw Seven and Seven was on, we missed that one, but Seven was on and Musicology. So all of those things that you'll get on a longer cruise, you get on the shorter cruise for the comedy cruise. You don't get it on the theme cruises, but you do get it on the comedy cruise, which we really like. So if as a taster, if you've not been cruising before, if you really want to get the feel of what a longer cruise would be like on a P&O ship, comedy cruise is a great one to go on.
And it is, because obviously you get the benefit then of the comedy shows, but I'm not saying you don't have to be into comedy, who's not into comedy, but you don't have to, it's not just all about comedians, that's sort of extra. So you get all the normal and the jazz night and all that kind of thing, and then that's extra on top of that, and late night, and they have earlier comedy and everything. It's really great, as Rob said, a really great
and they did have some family versions, the PG and PG-15 versions of the comedy clubs. So as you said, there's lots of children on this, so they were catered for as well.
Yes. Now, what we did notice though on this cruise was things seemed to finish off around about 11:30. Everything was closed. I don't know. We don't remember it ever finishing that early. We even went down to the casino. It was about just gone 11:30. All finished. The slot machines are open, I think, 24/7. But if you wanted to play the tables or even just go and get a drink, you couldn't. The bar closes when the table closes, and they had finished. And we thought that was just the first night. We thought everybody's tired because it's Embarkation Day. It's been after Christmas. Maybe they just kind of finished up early. Anyway, we found the whole cruise was like that.
I wondered if it was maybe because of the number of children on board, because obviously there's like, with that number of children, that number of families, the kids clubs finish, well, they can go on a bit longer if you pay extra, but the
You
kids
just
clubs
can't hack it
generally
anymore,
finish around
can you,
about
with your kids?
The kids clubs generally finish about, I think it's about 9 o'clock at night, and then after that it's a paid service, excuse me.
However, the nightclub was open. The nightclub caters for all ages. It's a bundle of fun. It is not just for the young. It's for the young at heart as well. They play a real mixture of music, very modern music and very kind of hip and now, but not all just like house music. So it's a great place to go.
We did go up there once.
Yeah,
we went up there once, and it did die off as well. Again, I think probably because there's so many families on board that they were sort of like going to bed early and not going and playing the casino and staying in the bars till late. I think that had a big part of
it. Did.
I think so.
And then you can still get pizzas and burgers up until about, I think they said about 2:30 or something. I don't know.
Sure. They altered the times a bit.
But there was nothing else open, so I don't suppose really anybody would be going for those. But it was still there. Drinks. Now, I think for me, the drinks, I don't know, they still offer you, so the mixers are all in cans and bottles, so you get the proper mixers, which is, I'm always grateful for that, rather than having anything off the tap. I think tap mixers just ruins your drink, and even if you just want, like I just have tonic water, I hate it when it's just on the tap. So a big thumbs up to that. But what I would say, a criticism is, if you're getting cocktails and things, or even just a normal drink, they're not really bothering to posh them up anymore. It pretty much is, they'll blend something up in a blender, pour it out, and you'll get given it, and you might get a straw, but you know, your lemon and your cherries and all that kind of stuff, they're not really bothering with the garnishes, and I think that's a shame because the drinks are quite expensive.
It is. But I tell you one thing I did notice, and I asked the bar staff about it. They were making a cocktail and they were using plant-based cream, and I asked them, and apparently they use the plant-based cream for their cocktails when they make the cocktails. Now that's great.
Yes.
If you're dairy-free, it means that you've got
You can
a
get
whole
the-
host of cocktails that are opened up for you.
She did say to us it was the Toblerone. The Toblerone is the favourite. That seems to be the ship's favourite. So if you can't have dairy and you fancy a Toblerone cocktail, you can now get it on board. So food, well, it's funny, isn't it? You know, you can have a mixed reaction from food, not just from different nights and different restaurants, but actually just on the same table on the same night. So one of my meals was pretty much cold on one night. It was delicious. It just wasn't very hot. Robert's, he actually burned his mouth on it on the same meal, same table. Food was delicious. So it's difficult to give you an overall view, apart from the choices that we made in each of the restaurants. We were really happy
Absolutely.
with. But we do get comments sometimes where people go, the food wasn't very good, or it was always cold, and that's all we can say to you is the choices that we made generally was very good. But I do understand, because I did have a couple that one was a bit tepid, but I've never had really poor food.
No.
That it would just be the temperature. I haven't had anything that I could honestly say was inedible or overcooked or raw, or I haven't had anything either of us, have we, that we would say that was awful. So yeah, we're really pleased
and
with
Luke's,
the food.
of course. Luke, we always have a good meal in Luke's. The only thing I would say about Luke's is this time, and I don't know what the reason for it, it did seem to go on a bit long. It was a little bit slow, which meant that we missed part of the activity, the white night that we were going to go to. because of that. So that was a shame.
And also
but excellent food,
the
excellent meal.
Dragon Lady also. So Luke's and Dragon Lady are much, much slower service. Now Luke's we can understand because you're paying for that, and if you're paying for a meal, you want it more leisurely. We like a nice leisurely meal, but there's leisurely and there's absolutely slow. But we can't really blame the waiters for that. What we think, we're going to take our own advice from now on, which we did when we went to the Dragon Lady, is tell your waiter your intentions for the evening. So we said, we want to go to the theatre, we want to be there for the 9 o'clock show. And he said, okay, got it. And he timed.
And he was very busy, but he did manage to get it.
He could time the service to us so that we could make it for that show. And I think Luke's would be exactly the same. That they want to make it leisurely because you're paying for it. Yeah. But if you tell them this is what we intend to do, they will pace it for you accordingly. So it's just an extra little tip.
So what have we got left?
So we've got room service. We had room service on one of the evenings. That took about 20 minutes to come. That was, you got hot chips. It was okay. They came. It was hot. That was all right. Yeah. Room service is there available again 24/7. Coffee was excellent in all the different places I could get my fresh coffee. This is what you pay for. Excellent, no complaints over that at all. They have the proper plant-based milks, every sort of from rice to oat, almond, soy, everything, lactose intolerant stuff, whatever you want, and it's all the proper barista, so it all holds, it doesn't split. So that was really, really good. Now for the services, for reception, guest services have been superb. Every time we've been up, we've had good, friendly service, haven't we?
Yeah, they've been very good. They are very good. Very helpful.
Really, really good. Couldn't fault them. And the queues go down really relatively quickly. They also, you can use your phone in your room, and there are telephones dotted around the ship. You can call guest services from any of those phones or from your room, and they answer really quite quickly and will deal with your queries without you even having to queue up, unless you have to go with your card or something and do something with the money. But apart from that, if it's just a query, that was really, really good. Medical centre, I did have to use the medical centre, and because I did, I'm going to tell you that experience, we've got a separate video, but that experience, I'm not going to say it's superb, but it was superb. It was more than I expected, the service that I got. I have to say, I was very pleased with that, very attentive.
And that was on the morning of disembarkation as well, so.
Yes, yeah. So I think all in all, we have, just want to say very quickly though, cabin we chose, which was 12343, which was an inside cabin. I'm always a little bit wary about getting cabins that are underneath the Lido deck. There's no deck 13, so 12 is under 14. We did not hear a thing. That was a very, very quiet cabin, probably because of the location of where it was. It was almost midships. So there was the Lido deck above it, but we heard nothing. It was a great location for just hopping up. Yeah.
You went up the stairs by the cabin and you were in between the two pool areas, the main pool and the family area. It took you straight down to deck 5, 6 and 7, so you're in the atrium, the main area, the shopping, the restaurants. Absolutely superb location, and we didn't really feel any movement either, did we?
And there's
definitely great cabin.
A sneaky Harry Potter corridor. So the corridor goes all the way down, little sneaky staircase at the bottom that brings you out by the Oasis. Yep. We didn't even know that staircase
all the times we've
was
been
there.
On here, we've never seen it.
We didn't realise that was it.
That cabin was brilliant.
We really, really enjoyed that.
Okay.
Now, so we really, really enjoyed it. That's time to tell us to sign off, I think.
I think so.
That's Amy. We've had, it was Michelle?
Michelle was the cruise director.
Michelle, cruise director. Fantastic.
I think they heard us making this video and they wanted to remind us to mention about. So shout out to Michelle and Alex as well. We had a good chat with Alex on Gatsby night.
The whole gang, the whole entertainment gang.
Super.
Great.
Super.
Really enjoyed it.
This is going to drown us out. So, very quickly, fantastic cruise. Really enjoyed it. We're looking forward to the next one.
Yeah. So, signing off. Take care. Thank you for watching.
Don't forget, like, subscribe, hit the notification button if you want to see more of our videos. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.
Bye.
I got